Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. A very, very warm welcome to Sunday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. So you may have checked me out when I was live because we had some exciting Superman Legacy casting rumours. We're going to go through Boris Kitt's Hollywood Reporter Heat Vision article all over again. When I'm done reading it, I'm going to tell you what I think of the accuracy of the article and really try and school you on what's going to happen in the coming months in terms of these rumours and where James Gunn is with this casting process. So let's go. Searching for Superman. Inside the quest to cast DC's new top hero. Exclusive, which I think is the funniest thing ever. The race to find Clark Kent and Lois Lane has been heating up to top contenders like Nicholas Hoult and David Corenswet pull ahead. By Boris Kitt and Maya Gallupo. This is Heat Vision, this is the Hollywood Reporter. The quest for James Gunn's Superman is up and away, casting for Superman Legacy, the feature that is meant to kick off Gunn and Peter Safran's much vaunted first chapter of DC Studios, is hitting a crucial phase, with a short list of names bubbling up for the roles of Clark Kent, Lois Lane and even Lex Luthor. David Corenswet, who recently played the ill-fated protagonist opposite Maya Goth in Pearl, is among the top contenders to play Kent, aka Superman, advancing to the screen test stage that will likely take place after Memorial Day or early June. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter the two other contenders may also be in the mix, but their identities remain unknown. Jacob Elordi, the sought-after star who broke out as the resident villain on HBO series Euphoria, is a name that surfaced for the role of Kent, but sources say he never submitted himself into the ring. British actors Tom Brittney and Andrew Richardson are also names that were in the early mix. As for Lane, the spunky reporter at Metropolis's Daily Planet news organisation, contenders have been Emma Mackey, one of the stars of the Netflix series Sex Education, who will appear in Warner Brothers' title Barbie. Rachel Brosnan, the Emmy-winning star of Amazon's acclaimed The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Bridgerton actress Phoebe DeVerna, and Samara Weaving, last seen in Scream. It is unclear who is advancing to the testing stage. Brosnan is said to have delivered an outstanding audition, but at 32 may be in the older range for what Gunn is ultimately hoping to achieve. A look Metropolis is heroic via 20-something characters. Sources caution that some of these are not screen testing and have merely been in the mix. One source, without providing additional details, dismissed some of the names as chatroom list. Warner's had no comment, and one insider said that the filmmakers and studios are nowhere near a decision. One role that seems to have only one person earmarked is the classic villain Luthor. Nicholas Hoult, currently starring in vampire thriller Renfield, has been tipped to play the bald-headed evil genius. Hoult's name has been swirling around Legacy for several weeks now, with some theorising he was up for Superman. The actor had a previous close call with the DC movie realm when he was the runner-up to play Batman for Matt Reeves, with the role going to Robert Pattinson. The studio has loved him since Fury Road, said one source referring to Warner's 2015 action classic from George Miller. And while the roles being chased by many of the town's up-and-comers include the trio of classic characters, sources say the movie will be populated by many faces as it will seek to introduce DC heroes that are already established in the movie's setting. Superman Legacy will be the first film under the Gunn-Safran regime at DC, making the casting of particular note. The superhero holds a place of particular importance for Gunn. I completely relate to Superman because he's everything I am, Gunn told THR in an April cover story. He's somebody who is an outsider, who feels like an alien, but also the ultimate insider because he's fucking Superman, and that's kind of like what I feel like. As for the macronomics of Superman, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO and David Zaslav is betting big on the new superhero strategy. DC is the biggest value creation opportunity for us, Zaslav said in February during a Q4 earnings report. In 2022 and early 2023, Warner Brothers Discovery cleared the DC decks, shelving Batgirl indefinitely, claiming a tax write-down, and releasing Black Adam and Shazam! Fury of the Gods to mixed results at the box office. Still to come is Blue Beetle, which was once set for HBO Max, but was moved to an August theatrical release, and June's long-delayed Flash movie that has already been screened in full for exhibitors at CinemaCon, with positive results. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, due out in December, is the final DC film made by the previous regime. So there you have it. That's the article. First of all, what do I make of this article? This article is clickbait bullshit. Sorry, Boris Kit, I respect you as a very, very good journalist, but your article is pure clickbait. When you're talking about David Corenswet, someone who's been rumoured and fancast way before James Gunn arrived at DC Universe and DC Studios, you know these people know absolutely nothing. We know one thing about James Gunn. He's well ahead of the game. He will have his process, whatever that process is. Now, in terms of testing to play a role, I don't think there's, obviously there's certain actors they'll want to see testing. There are actors that they may feel could potentially play the role, whether it's Superman, Clark Kent, Lois, Jimmy, Lex, whoever. They'll want to test the serious contenders, and that's true. These people may have tested, may have not tested, but in the weeks and months coming up, you're going to be hearing a lot of rumours, and it's important to understand that most of these rumours are mainly that. Now, these scoopers have a huge ego, always patting themselves and each other on the back for a big scoop. In fact, Boris Kit and another scooper had a little argument. One scooper saying, how can you call a certain actor a front runner at this stage? And it really depends how James Gunn is going at this process. If this is an open casting call where everyone in Hollywood has got the chance to audition, I think we're definitely at, the testing, the test audition stages. And I think James Gunn has probably whittled it down a little bit. Now, this article says they're nowhere near making an announcement. I don't know how close they are to making an announcement. To me, I'm not really that interested in these rumours, especially this article. This article doesn't really do much for me as a Superman fan. I'm very, very patient about this process. I'm very, very, nonchalant about this process. It's going to happen. James will go through this, but I also feel that he's not just looking to cast these Superman characters, he's looking at the same time in this process to populate his DC universe. So I think right now there's a proper open channel to cast the whole of his DC universe. He's already cast some of it, and he's made a couple of announcements already. What James did say about these rumours, that he won't comment on them. That's standard. Why would he comment on them? He said, this process has nothing to do with anyone but the actors in question. So he's saying it's none of our business. It's none of the media's business right now. Well, welcome to the big time. James, you're in the big time now. You're not working for Mickey Mouse anymore. You're working for Warner Brothers Discovery. and you are basically molding a brand new DC universe, and you're writing and directing a Superman film. You're going to get huge rumours, casting rumours, on your process a lot. These scoopers want to be the first ones to say, you see, I told you it was him. You see, I told you it was them. The problem is right now, movie Twitter and scoopers have concise opinions on who should get the role, which rumours are good, which rumours are bad, which people they think should get the role. And you get this, and I said this on my live yesterday. I don't know half the actors in that article. Never heard of them, never met them, don't know them. I don't know if they will be right for the role, wrong for the role. So that's where I am right now with that situation. What I can say to you is that James Gunn will be well ahead in the process, and he would have already whittled down what he wants to do. But he's not just casting Superman in this process, or Lois, or Jimmy, or Lex. He's basically creating a casting process to cast out his entire DC universe, and that's exactly what he's doing. For example, Nicholas Hoult is a very, very good actor who's been around for many, many years. Nicholas is 33 years old. Thank you to my subscriber John for telling me his age last night, because I didn't have a clue. I'm not going to pretend I already knew. He was 33 years old, but I really like Nicholas Hoult. I've always liked Nicholas Hoult as an artist. He could, the rumour is he could play Lex Luthor. He could be up for a 33-year-old Clark Kent. That wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility. But maybe someone can find out for me. Is Nicholas Hoult tall enough to play Superman? Is he 6 foot? Could he build out? Would that work? I think he would be, I think he can do the job. I just don't see him as Superman. Again, I could be wrong about that. He could be up for Superman, he could be up for Lex, and I mentioned kind of a hot take on my live last night that he could actually be playing Bruce Wayne and Batman, but we will see. Considering he was runner-up for Matt Reeves' casting process for his Batman, and he chose Robert Pattinson in the end, that could be the direction. But if Hoult has been mentioned, maybe he's going to be playing someone, but he could be playing no one. So right now, we don't know very much. I personally enjoy the rumours. I think they're exciting. There's going to be a lot of talk of Superman Legacy and what's going to happen and who's going to be cast. And as a Superman fan, that's very, very exciting for me. But I'm not taking this article seriously at all. I'm not taking what they said in this article. I mean, Kit in this article goes, sources say that some of these names are chat room list. So that's why these rumours have no validity whatsoever as far as I'm concerned. Now, in terms of the list of actresses, up for Lois Lane, they said, a 33-year-old actress had a really good test. Well, I've auditioned for lots of things before. The casting directors have put their arms around me. That was amazing, Mick. Never fucking heard from them again. So that doesn't mean anything. So either James Gunn is going through a slow casting process to make sure he gets Superman, Lex, and Lois right, or he could have already decided who's going to play these iconic characters, and this is just a distraction. I think it probably is all a distraction. He claims he's only officially cast one person for Superman Legacy. Is he telling the truth? Is he being economical with the truth? Well, it's the kind of, I suppose, the game of bluff we're playing with James Gunn. We don't really know. He is ahead of the game. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to use the media to his advantage. And the funny thing is, these scoopers' heads are so big, they don't see what's going on. I don't like Access Media. I don't trust Access Media. And I don't believe a word they say. But if you're intelligent and you have experience in such things, this Heat Vision article has really given us no new information. they've plucked out a bunch of actors, male and female, from the circuit, and they've chucked their names out there. But personally, I don't think David Corenswet is going to play Superman. Now, I could be wrong about that, but his name's been bandied about for so long. But then again, Henry Cavill's name was bandied about for so long. He was up for Superman in Superman Returns, as we well know. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that David Corenswet gets the role. And I know that you lot will have your ideas in who should play Superman. It's one of the main questions I'm asked by people. Who do you think should play Superman? Well, I don't have any defined opinions on who should play Superman. I'm very relaxed about the situation. I'm 50 years old. This may be the last build-up to a Superman movie I experience. I hope it's not. I hope I get to experience many more Superman movies. But yeah, I ain't getting any younger. So I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm not going to get triggered by what's going on and what's said on social media. I believe that James Gunn will do the right thing and cast the right people for these iconic roles. The studio and him and Peter understand how vital this situation is and that they can't make any mistakes. So they need to cast who's right for the roles. We don't get to do castings because we are not casting people, right? We're not casting experts. We don't know what works and what doesn't. We see a picture of someone and we go, yeah, that looks like Superman. Well, we want the best actor playing Superman. We want the best actor playing Lois. And we want the best actor playing Jimmy and Lex and all of that. So it's very, very important that they do the right things and they're not influenced by the shit we say. Because at the end of the day, there's lots of people who want this one, that one. It really doesn't matter. First of all, you've got to pick the right person who can do the job. Then you have to do chemistry tests. Very important that you test the actor that you want to play Clark and the actor you want to play Lois. They've got to have chemistry. You've got to believe that these two people could fall in love and, they're fated to be together for eternity. These are very, very important processes in the part. And it could be that James is just getting started and we won't get an announcement for a very long time, but he could also surprise us and announce things quicker than we thought. I don't know where he is in terms of that casting process. I do know he's ahead of the game in terms of Access Media and Scoopers, and they will only know what he wants them to know. If they leak something that's substantial, it's because he wants them to know it. But they're so arrogant, they think they've actually come up with stuff through their own intelligence and experience of the industry. And, I'm quite happy for them to tell us stuff that's true. But this article is just bollocks. He does, Boris Kitt does a weekly Heat Vision article. He had to do something. You've got to remember, there's not much going on in the industry. And let me educate you and school you about something else. We have a Writers Guild of America members strike. So when they announce this film's in development, or that film's in development, how can anything be in development with a writer's strike? It can't. It means the studio's decided to make a movie, but that's that. They can't actually do anything about it because it can't be developed narratively. It can't be written narratively. So, you can cast people, you can make plans, but you can't really, move in the process of your development. But James Gunn is ahead of the games because he wrote Creature Commandos months ago. He's completed Creature Commandos. He's either in the process of making that series or it's already been made. He's already cast it. And, then you've got The Authority. Now, I don't know if he's already written The Authority, if it's him who's going to make The Authority movie. I don't know. But I do know that Creature Commandos is going to be the first entry into his new DC universe. Then Waller is next. Then it will be Superman Legacy. But Superman Legacy is the most important entry. It really is the important first step in James and Peter's DC universe. And how is the partnership between James Gunn and Peter Safran going to work? Well, James has already been kind enough to explain it to us. He's public. And basically, he is in charge of the creative element, and Peter is kind of the bureaucrat, you know, the business person, the corporate person in this partnership. Now, with Kevin Feige, he was doing everything, the creative element and the bureaucratic element as well, the corporate element. So Feige does everything because Feige wants to be in total control, and he's comfortable with doing that. But James Gunn doesn't want to do the corporate stuff. He wants to be the creative lead, and that's exactly what he's good at. And on my live, we did discuss about the portion of this article, which probably is one of the few things that Boris Kitt has any knowledge of, because it is common knowledge, because my people have told me this as well, that James will populate this Superman Legacy movie with great world building. He is casting the people who are going to play these iconic characters. You're going to see lots of iconic DC characters in Superman Legacy. Probably Green Arrow, definitely Batman. I think we may even meet Supergirl in this movie. She may even be in a post-credit scene. Who knows? But you're going to see lots of versions of these Superman characters and these DC characters as well. So Superman Legacy isn't just a Superman movie. This is your season premiere for the brand new DC universe. This is your introduction to James Gunn's new universe, and this is how they're going to go at this universe and at this movie. So it's beyond a Superman movie. This is how it's going to work. And this is going to be an exciting movie for DC fans, because if you see Green Arrow, you're going to be hyped. Hopefully they get the castings of all these iconic characters right. Got to have faith in James Gunn that he knows what he's doing, because he's in control of this whole thing now. So we've got to have a little faith in Gunn, and hopefully he pulls it off. Now let's talk about the Flash movie directed by Andres Muschietti. So there's still this ongoing rumour that at the end of the movie, when Barry comes back to a brand new universe, allegedly his universe, he encounters a brand new Bruce Wayne, but we only see the back of him. But in seeing an Emergency Awesome video, I actually like that guy. A lot of people don't like that guy, but I do. He said a very interesting thing, that people were advised during this scene that scene could have been blocked out, not to identify who it is. And in the actual movie, it could be George Clooney, like rumoured. Now, when this rumour first came out about this surprising George Clooney cameo at the end of the Flash movie, I came out with a pretty hot take and an interesting prediction as far as I'm concerned. Basically, right, if it's George Clooney, then it ain't Bruce Wayne, is it? Unless it's an older Bruce Wayne and they're not dealing with Bruce Wayne as their Batman in this brand new universe, but they're dealing with another version of Batman, a younger Batman. I don't know. But considering Damian Wayne's going to be in Brave and the Bold, and I mean, is Damian Wayne actually the Batman of James Gunn's new DC universe? So it could be that George Clooney is an older Batman in this universe, and that's maybe why people are rumouring George Clooney to have this shock cameo in the Flash movie, because if Barry genuinely is in James Gunn's brand new DC universe by the end of the movie, and it's George Clooney there, he could be playing an older Bruce Wayne. And in fact, the new version of Batman in this universe is actually Damian Wayne. That would kind of explain why George Clooney is in the Flash movie as Bruce Wayne. But there is another explanation that I did speak about a few months ago, that if George Clooney's Bruce Wayne is at the end of this movie in this different universe that's not the original DCEU universe anymore, it could be that Barry's trapped in George Clooney's Bruce Wayne's Earth, which means he won't be part of the DC universe anymore. because Ezra Miller is now the elephant in the room. I'm sorry to compare you to an elephant. In fact, sorry to the elephant for comparing you to Ezra Miller. But it could be that Barry ends up being trapped in George Clooney's Earth, and that's where we leave him at the end of the movie. And in fact, we're not introduced to James Gunn's brand new universe. This is kind of a reverse of the idea of having Batfleck and Cavill stuck on another Earth, because basically, as far as they know, they're not going to deal with Batfleck and Cavill after this movie. Well, as far as I know, Cavill's not involved in the Flash movie. Anyway, we're moving on. Brand new Superman, blah, blah, blah. I've also got the theory that Superman Legacy could be a Spider-Man No Way Home type of movie. We will see what happens there. So they're my two theories. If it is George Clooney's Bruce Wayne that turns up at the end of this movie, it could mean that Damian Wayne is the main Batman. You know, a younger Batman, a Batman Jr. Still be Damian Wayne, but he'll be the one doing the Batman stuff, right? And maybe George Clooney's just going to play an older Bruce Wayne in James Gunn's DC Universe. Now, it's unlikely that James would go down this direction. I don't think George Clooney is a favourite Bruce Wayne of his. Or there's a third theory, that George Clooney could be playing someone totally different in the brand new DC Universe, and maybe he's not playing Batman. Maybe he's not playing his version of Bruce Wayne. He could be playing a totally different character. He could be playing a member of the government who's kind of going to explain to Barry what's going on. He could be playing someone totally different. He may not even be playing the Batman or Bruce Wayne character that he did in Batman and Robin. He could be playing someone totally different. So these are the scenarios I have for you if the George Clooney rumours are true. And lots of scoopers have mentioned George Clooney. It's a weird rumour to put out there if it's a lie. Of course, it could be a distractive tactic for the real person who turns up. Maybe a shocking reveal of Christian Bale. Listen, I spoke about this on my live also. I believe that most of the cameos you've heard about and the way you're going to see them have already been revealed. I don't think there's many more, if any, surprises in the Flash movie from what I'm hearing. But, yeah, the George Clooney thing won't go away. And I have a very active mind, a very suspicious mind. I am definitely a conspiracy theorist. And I think it's very exciting to think about George Clooney being involved. Now, many people don't like George Clooney as Batman and Bruce Wayne. He was cast at a time when he was a very popular actor. He'd just come out of ER. We all loved him. And back then, that's what they used to do. The most popular actor got all the roles. In fact, it still happens in Hollywood today. So that's why he got it. But I was never triggered by George. I love George. I think he's a very talented actor. He's had a really good career, by the way. But if he's in this movie, there's got to be a reason for it. And, you know, it could be that like, James Gunn is leading us up the garden path. And yes, Damian Wayne will be the new Batman in, you know, in this version of his DC universe. And I've even suspected that the Superman we get may not be Kal-El in this universe. And that's why there's rumours of a 20-something or even a 20-year-old actor being cast as the brand new Superman. So be very well aware that Superman may not be Superman, maybe Superboy, Connor Kent, that Damian Wayne may be the main Batman in the new DC universe. We may be going into a brand new kind of Young Justice universe. Who knows what James Gunn is planning? So until we know for sure, I think it's very important not to make any assumptions, because what I noticed from the internet and fans and scoopers, there's a lot of assumptions. And I think that James Gunn is someone who does things in a very different way. And just because he made Guardians in a certain way, just because he did the Suicide Squad in a similar way and Peacemaker in a similar way, it doesn't mean he's going to give you that Superman movie. And I've given you the comparisons before. You know, Dick Donner made The Omen. You know, Superman the movie wasn't a horror movie. It was funny. It was exciting. It was shot beautifully. You know, Sam Raimi, horror comedy, another comparison I've made before. So just because a director has always made certain types of movies, when it comes to iconic characters like Superman and Spider-Man, they're going to have to do it in a different way. So yeah, be prepared that maybe we're not getting Kal-El, maybe we're not getting Bruce Wayne, maybe we are getting Connor Kent as Superboy, and he'll be the kind of main Superman, you know, Kryptonian in the new DC universe, and maybe, as I say, Damian Wayne will be the main Bats in the new universe. Basically, anything is possible, and the potential is really exciting and limitless. This has been Sunday's edition of the DC Universe Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. Please smash the like button if you love me. Very important. Subscribe if you're new. Have your say. The comments and the likes are really important. Even if you commented on the premiere, just do some comment. Comment as much as you can so we can get some interaction. So we can, if you like me, as I say, if you want me to do well, that is. So please be aware of that as well. But until I see you again, and don't forget, I will be doing more live streamed videos as well in the days and months ahead. The reason I haven't been doing live videos because in the winter it's too cold for me to sit here in the evening and do the live videos. That was my main kind of reason for not doing them. But now it's 30+C. We can do the live videos, but I need people to come in. I need people to attend them, or it's not worth doing. So until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.